The good, the bad, and the odd will swallow your soul.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. We're your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Yeah.
So we're carrying on with the Star Wars. We did it last time. We're doing it again. We are following straight on into Season 4 of Rebels. So this was made it was aired between 2017 and 2018. I think it's 14 episodes. 16 episodes in all. There's a lot of double episodes in this, so it's a little confusing. This is on Disney Plus at the minute. It's showing us 15 episodes on that, I think, because the last one is shown as a single episode, even though there's two of them. So we're going to have a lot of spoilers, aren't we? So if you don't want your stuff spoiled about the Star Wars universe, and there is stuff in here that will spoil some of it, you might not want to listen till you've watched this. But if you're not bothered, then carry on. That's the way to do it, right? Okay, so the first one is actually a pair, right? It's a double bill. And this was called Heroes of Mandalore. First aired on October the 16th, 2017. Actually, the 60th and 61st episode in the whole lot. So we're kind of, and this is the final season of Rebels at the minute, at least. Honestly, we'll get into it when we get to it. Okay, so we're back at Mandalore, aren't we? Do you want to run through this one, or shall I?
Okay, so the episode starts with Ezra, Sabine, Kanan all taking part in a big raid on the a base of Clan Saxon, Gar Saxon from the previous series, the guy who was running Mandalore, was part of.
Yeah, as an Empire underling, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Now, they're aided in this by Bo-Katan, who was a character in Clone Wars. She was Pre Vizsla's henchwoman sort of thing.
Yeah, did she run Mandalore herself at one point as well?
She may have. It was because Pre Vizsla was followed by Maul running Mandalore, and I've not seen season 7 of Clone Wars yet, so she may have ended up running it for a bit.
All right, fair enough. We don't know because we haven't seen it. We don't know anything about that series. Okay, okay then.
Yeah.
Actually, it says here in the notes that she should have become ruler of Mandalore after Duchess Satine was murdered. So
yes, and she was murdered quite brutally in Clone Wars.
Yes. Sabine actually offers her the Darksaber, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She feels she deserves it, but she said, "No, I had my chance. I'm not taking it." Now they're rescuing Sabine's father, so there is because he's about to be moved to the capital city for public execution, so that's why they're rescuing him, right? So they attack a convoy and manage to rescue him. Now, he turns out to be an arty type rather than a warrior, doesn't he?
Yeah, which makes a nice... You can see where Sabine gets it from.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
you can see her.
She's a strong fighter like her mother, and she's very much a very critical artist like her father.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Then her mother contacts her and describes a weapon which Sabine herself built, right?
Yeah, the Duchess.
Yeah, and it's a weapon designed to beat Mandalorians, isn't it?
Yeah. Something she designed when she was in the academy, and it was brought up last season as a source of great shame for her.
Yeah.
That's the reason why she's pretty much just abandoned Mandalorian culture, sort of thing.
Yeah, and she's ashamed of it, and it's because it uses their special armor, their Beskar armor, as part of its attack mechanism, doesn't it? So
it seems to conduct whatever causes disintegration through the Beskar. So
it's pretty destructive.
Yeah, so they walk back to where her mother and brother were, and there's just piles of armor and dust.
Yeah, so they think her own family have died, but they were lucky. She actually managed to get a warning out to them, and they managed to just about get outside the range in time.
Yeah, but they were still injured. So.
They were injured, but yeah. Then they're rescued by Clan Kryze, aren't they?
It's Bo-Katan's
clan. So there is that.
Yeah.
So, and isn't there some cool stuff where they're fighting TIE fighters in the air?
Yeah, there's a bit where they hit a bunch of Mandalorians, jump out the back of the Ghost and fight TIE fighters.
Oh, really cool! There's some really
Yeah.
cool stuff in this season, and that was one of them. Anyway, so I don't want to belabor the story too much. I was trying to just pick out the good elements of it. And she basically gets to the weapon and kinda. Because they want to destroy it, don't they? They want to destroy the weapon, and it's a raid on a Star Destroyer. So there's Mandalorians
they're able
flying
to.
out
They fly
in space.
like they fly low, and it's not out in space. It's like docked
isn't it?
at the
Oh, that's right. It's
sea.
docked. Yes,
and
yeah.
they fly in up into the cargo bay.
Yes.
So
yeah,
yeah.
like no one sees them. It's amazing.
well, they do get spotted immediately as they hop in, but fortunately, the weapon is right there. So.
Now she's got the armor. She's at the weapon, but she plays a trick on them. She recalibrates it to attack Imperial armor.
Well, no, she gets a gun put to her head, and then they turn the weapon on to use it on her and Bo-Katan and another super commander. There was a kind of a neat bit of like almost symbolism where I can't remember which member of the Saxon family it is, but he basically turns the weapon on in a small room with him, one of the Imperial super commandos, and Sabine and Bo-Katan.
Sabine, yeah.
Yeah. And it hurts Sabine, Bo-Katan, and the super commander, but not him, meaning he's wearing stormtrooper armor now.
Right.
It's just like he's completely eschewing the Mandalorian
he's
culture.
not even a Mandalorian anymore. So yeah, so fair enough.
Yeah.
They basically blow up the Star Destroyer at the end.
Yeah, they recalibrate the weapon to target stormtrooper armor, and it kills all the stormtroopers outside and zaps the helmet off of Ezra's head, which was a nice touch.
Yeah, I like that because how was he going to get out? But it blew it off.
Yeah.
And then it ends with her actually still giving Sabine still giving the darksaber to Bo-Katan, who accepts it this time. So she becomes in effect the leader of Mandalore, doesn't she?
Yes.
Somewhat. So I really like this episode. But you know what? I thought the whole series was really good actually.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a weak one here. Maybe a little weaker than the rest, but they're all pretty solid. In the next episodes, because again it's a double bill. This one is called "In the Name of the Rebellion." In this one, Ezra, Kanan, and Sabine arrive in Yavin 4, where they launched the attack on the Death Star in the original New Hope. Right, so we're getting a real closeness to the film series here.
Yeah.
So they're joining the main Rebel Alliance is kind of there. So
they meet Mon Mothma, they meet Bail Organa. There's a few others around, like General Dodonna. And while there's sort of an argument going on about what extents do they go with the rebellion, Saw Gerrera kind of hollow calls them up in the middle of
he calls them half measures in effect.
Yeah.
Right. You got to be willing to go to any length to beat the Empire. And Mon Mothma's like, no, we don't want to become them. But to do that, we will become them. And Saw Gerrera's going, nah, you'll never win if you're doing it that way. It's that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So there's a comedy moment here where they kind of got an infiltration, and Ezra says he's a certain Imperial officer.
Yeah, he says he's Bron Rast, I think his name is. Bron Titus. He's been in the show before.
Yeah, he's been in the show before.
He was the head of the Interdictor project in season 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then he was in charge of the Y-Wing scrap place that they went to in season 3. And that's the ongoing joke is he's been demoted.
Whenever he comes up against these guys, he gets demoted. Yeah. Anyway, it turns out he's picked the character who's the captain of the ship coming in, so that doesn't work. Yeah. Bron Titus, so there's a bit of that. They, while all this is happening, a U-Wing turns up, this very powerful fighter. It's kind of a bomber fighter, or would you say a fighter?
I'd say it was more of like a drop ship almost.
Yeah,
like a Chinook sort of thing. Yeah, because the sides open up, and in in Rogue One, which was like its big introduction.
Yeah.
They use it a lot like that. So
But yeah, it's a dropship, but it's also a fairly effective, powerful fighter, isn't it, as well?
yeah,
So this U-Wing turns up, and Gerrera's piloting, and
Saw Gerrera.
he picks up Ezra and Sabine. They bomb the dish, which they weren't going to do.
They were
infiltrate
trying to like basically hack into the comms so that they could listen in on the listening station. Ironically,
yeah. Whereas Guerrero's all about just bombing it. He needs to make an impression against the Empire, and he destroyed the ship, the dish, and the ship as well, the cruiser. So Hera says we want them back, but then he jumps into hyperspace, doesn't he? So they're Guerrera then kind of recruits them because there's a secret weapon the Empire is working on. They're trying to find out about, and it turns out they get on board the ship, and there's all these prisoner engineers from Coruscant, and they're
from all sorts of inner. Oh, I can't remember what the inner rim worlds.
They're different aliens, basically.
Yeah.
But it turns out there's a mass. This is the one with a massive kyber crystal?
Yeah,
which is actually going to be the source of power for the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
But does that actually come apparent in this one? I'm trying to remember.
There's a lot of. It's a lot of like, why would they need a kyber crystal for this big? Like this, and Saw Gerrera says he's gonna at the end of the episode once it's all said and done, and Saw kind of goes off on his own. He says he's going to start looking into it, which is kind of how it ends up on Rogue One.
Rogue One, yeah. So they know there's a giant kyber crystal, which he shoots at to destabilize, so it blows up, so no one gets it, right?
Yeah.
So old Guerrera flies off on a ship.
He leaves them and all the slaves that were on the ship.
Yeah, it just leaves.
Sort of floating in escape pods. So.
Yeah, so but they get rescued by the Ghost. But the engineers declare they want to join the rebel cause, which is good. Right? So they head back to Yavin 4. Okay, yeah, another great pair of episodes. Kind of an interesting thing that they've got a more militant arm of the Rebel Alliance they're having to deal with too. Saw Gerrera does stay quite in character throughout these, doesn't he, in terms of his militancy, as it were.
Yeah.
I kind of like him. I kind of get where he's coming from, but, you know. Mon Mothma is not that kind of... doesn't wish to wage that kind of war, does she? So, it's not... it sets up an interesting dynamic. Okay, the next episode is a one-off. So it's called The Occupation.
Well, kind of. This starts the rest of... It becomes less episodic, the rest of the series.
More like a series, isn't it, at this point? From this one. So in this one, they find out the Empire are building a new and improved version of a TIE Defender at Lothal. So a lot of stuff happens in Lothal for the next few episodes, doesn't it?
Because the end of the last season was kind of them prepping to go to Lothal, and that got completely shut down by the Empire. They got attacked at a chopper base, and they had to run basically.
Yeah.
This is kind of following up on that, seeing that the local rebel cell is kind of really like browbeaten and pushed.
Right.
Like characters from in the past, like old Joe, who was a bartender that just kind of didn't like the Empire, so the Empire steered away. Yeah, he's been executed.
Yeah, it's kind of dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they get to Lothal and find out stuff's going on, and the Alliance isn't prepared to fight for Lothal, right?
Nah.
They haven't got enough resources. So Ezra reckons that they could destroy the TIE Defender. But yeah, they've seen the capabilities of this TIE Defender, and it's pretty powerful. So it's kind of quite a scary development, isn't it? And it may lose the Rebels the war or the fight if they kind of let it go on. But the Rebels, Mon Mothma isn't willing to spend too much on this. So that's not a filler episode, but it's kind of set up, isn't it?
No.
It's kind of set up.
Yeah. It's very much the start of Act 1.
Yeah, so this is a long running thread now from this point. So the next one is called flight of the Defender. So they're scouting. They used the Ghost to scout this Imperial location where the type of Defender's been
No,
tested.
not even the Ghost. They have to walk up to it. They have to walk and sit in the mountains for a while.
Yeah, they have to hike to it, don't they? Yes.
Because they had to smuggle themselves onto the planet, so they couldn't use the Ghost. There was a nice little interaction in the previous episode where Rex and what's his name? The Imperial, the former Imperial
Callus.
Callus.
That's it. Yeah, Callus.
Callus. Yeah, he's. They've got a good little interaction where he's like, I used to go. They start arguing over who's in charge, and Callus goes, "I commanded a Star Destroyer," and Rex goes, "I think that answers the question by itself."
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, there's some fun stuff there. A bit of macho stuff, right? Anyway, Sabine wants to steal the flight recorder from this TIE Defender to be able to get readings on it and figure out what's going on. But Thrawn turns up because he wants a combat demonstration, doesn't he? So Sabine is kind of cornered by the fighter, so she flies off. But then as there's quite a good chase sequence, isn't there, where she's kind of out flying everyone, but then they realise there's a kill switch.
No, it's not even her, it's Ezra.
Oh yes, that's right, because they make the point if even he can sort of fight other in this thing, Thrawn's quite impressed, isn't he? Even Ezra, who's not a skilled pilot, can fly like this, then imagine how devastating it's going to be. Thrawn's impressed, basically.
Yeah.
Now is it the Ghost hasn't got his hyperdrive or something? I'm trying to remember now. They have to.
No, it's not the Ghost because they don't have the Ghost. It's still like they smuggled themselves onto the planet, using another ship.
That's right.
Which got impounded.
Yeah, and they need a hyperdrive, so they steal the hyperdrive from this Defender, but it's too heavy to carry very far, so they hide it.
Yeah.
But then Ezra starts seeing weird glimpses of a big white Lothwolf, one of the predators.
It's a semi-mythical predator from the fall. So.
It appears before him, but it says the word Doom.
Yeah.
Now, there could be DOOM, but, we don't know at this point, right? So, whoa. Now, it must be mentioned that Dave Filoni was one of the writers on this. Dave Filoni
is the showrunner.
Yeah. So. Okay. Isn't he also involved in The Mandalorian? Or am I dreaming?
Yeah. He's. I think he's like, it's either him or Pablo Hidalgo. They're close friends either way. They are like the head of canon at Star Wars.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Like they have the final say over what's going on.
So the next episode, I mean, we're still in the same location. We've got Ezra, and Zeb is also around. They need to go get the TIE Defender's hyperdrive before the team find it. But Thrawn is, as ever, ahead of the game. He realises there's stuff going on. But he dispatches this weird assassin hunter guy.
Yes, it's Rook.
Who really reminds me of Snoke for some reason. His face looks quite a lot like Snoke. He's not the same species or anything, though. He's got almost like a chimpanzee gait, isn't he? He's very fast. He lopes along on fours.
Yeah, I remember. I don't think I read anything with these guys directly, but I read about them where, if I remember rightly, Vader used them as like a personal assassins sort of thing.
Okay, they're a tracker. They're very fast. Got super reflexes. This thing, right? Rook.
Yeah.
So Zeb's managed to go get the hyperdrive. They kind of figure out where it is. And Ezra and Jai end up being chased by Rook.
Yeah.
But managed to get away. It's quite devastating, this Rook, what he can do. But he
can sniff him out, and he's a very competent fist fighter.
He also appears to have
like a shot stick.
He appears to have great sight, great vision as well. He can see at long distances and stuff. But during the fight, as they get away, he manages to shoot a tracking beacon onto their bike, which Governor Price can use to get to the Ghost hideout.
Well, it's just a local rebel cell. The Ghost.
Sorry, the crew's the hideout.
Yeah.
So Hera and Chopper leave Yavin. Leave to go to Yavin. With this flight recorder. So they've managed to get the flight recorder out too.
Yeah. And the Empire comes after their base because they've very quickly tracked them down.
Yeah, I mean it's quite devastating. But then just before the fight, the Lothwolf appears and leads them into a weird tunnel thing.
They start riding them and they all fall asleep as they're riding the Lothwolves. And as the Lothwolves run, they fade into the ground.
Yeah.
And we see what they're running through, and it looks like they're sort of... It's hard to describe, because it's like they're ankle deep in water, but you can see stars.
Yeah, there's something really weird going on here.
Yeah.
And then they wake up pretty much on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
So it appears there's a secret temple in Lothal. And they find out the Lothwolf is a kind of force being of some sort.
Yeah. They recognise that they're very sensitive to the Force.
Yeah. So these animals are sensitive to the Force and can speak a bit too. Well, how about that?
Yeah. Hence Doom.
Yes. Okay, so it goes on. They find a mining guild called Orecrawler is working, stripping out Lothal's surface, and decide they're going to hijack it to try and get back contact with Hera and the Yavin rebel base. They're kind of on their own, really, right?
Yeah.
Now these crawler captains, there's a lizardy guy they got to fight, isn't there?
It's a Trandoshan.
Okay.
Same as what's his name?
The bounty hunter, Bosk, is it?
Yeah,
Bosk. It's one of they're fast and strong too, right? So
they hunt Wookiees for sport.
Yeah, doesn't Zeb fight with it? I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, no, there's another couple of Trandoshans.
Okay.
And Zeb fights them.
Okay.
So.
And meanwhile, Kanan and Zeb discover there's slaves in there. Among them, Vizago, who thinks they're there to rescue. Sorry.
He helped smuggle them to the planet.
We forgot to mention that, but he thinks they're there to rescue him, but it's coincidence, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
So they these slaves are working with the rebels. They kind of have to deal with an Imperial patrol. And Hera, in the meantime, Hera's fed up with waiting, so gives everyone a pep talk about leading an assault on the factory where the TIE fighter's being built, and what they got to do about that. So they then talk to Ezra's team, right, and they're kind of coordinating.
Yeah.
So this is a very solid little story. This could be cut into a film, no problem. So the next episode is called Rebel Assault, which is a famous Star Wars game as well.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, a good name. And basically it is an assault, so they have to battle an Imperial blockade and try and take out this TIE factory. However, Thrawn's there.
Thrawn isn't there. No, he isn't there.
Oh, isn't he? Right, mate, go on then. Tell it.
He pointedly isn't there because the Emperor calls him back to argue in favour of the TIE Defender project.
That's right.
No, it wasn't the Emperor, it was Tarkin. He calls him back.
Yeah, but he says he has to go see the Emperor, right?
Yeah, he says he has to go see the Emperor, but someone called Krennic is pushing for his own project.
Yes.
And Krennic is the guy who's engineering the Death Star.
He's the one in Rogue One, right? He's the bad guy in Rogue One.
He's the villain in Rogue One. He's the one that was like, "You stand among my achievements."
Yeah,
sort of thing.
that guy. So they kind of the attack is kind of devastating. There's only a few survivors. They managed to get to the surface. They're trying to get out from the city, but Rooks again is hunting them down. Kanan does get away, but he decides to go back.
No, Kanan was already away. The crew that were on the ground, they had just been they were just doing they were taking out defense turrets grounded, and the attack force was able to get through the upper orbit fleet that was had star destroyers and raiders and all sorts of vehicles like that. But when they got into atmosphere, the Empire just unleashed swarms and swarms of TIE fighters on them, and it just took them apart.
Yeah, really devastating it was. So Kanan wants to go back to the capital to find Hera, doesn't he? But the Loaf Wolf stops him and asks him what he
stops him and doesn't let him go past.
Yeah.
And he says doom to him. And Ezra's reaction is like, what does this mean? What does doom mean? And Kanan's like, that's my name. My name used to be Caleb Doom.
Yeah. So there's something going on. Hera, in the meanwhile, Hera gets captured by Rook, who takes her to Price. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's
it's Wedge and Chopper able to escape. She lets them escape, gives them an opportunity to escape, but she gets caught.
Right.
So they come out of a random manhole cover in the middle of nowhere, and Kanan's just there.
Yeah.
And he says "Don't worry, I know what needs to be done." And he gets them on a speeder bike and drives off.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And there was a 4-month break.
That is brutal. Yeah, because that aired on the 13th of November, and the next episode aired on the 19th of February. So it's quite a jump, quite a time. So we're in the final stages of the whole Rebels story now. This episode's called Jedi Knight with an N. Jedi Knight.
Which is another game.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
almost. It's a different type of knight.
Yeah.
So.
Hera's being tortured by Governor Price for fun, it appears.
Yeah. There's a bit where she's oh, I've not even asked her any questions yet.
Just softening her up. Ezra and Kanan have been figuring out how to get her out. Thrawn's still absent. So they get in the command center using gliders that look like Lothbats. So they make these. They're going low tech, and it works quite effectively. In fact, isn't there a bit of comedy banter between two stormtroopers talking about Lothbats, how annoying Lothbats are as they fly overhead, kind of thing. So Ezra and Sabine get a gunship to escape. Well, Kanan goes and finds first Hera's Kalikuri, which is the family heirloom.
Family heirloom that Thrawn took from her.
There's been a bit of dialogue about this, isn't there? Because doesn't Thrawn actually talk to Hera early in this episode about it, or am I dreaming?
Yeah, because he comes back basically to give Price what for causing problems, and then he has to leave again to make his argument. But he leaves the Kalikuri in his office on Lothal, and Kanan breaks in and takes it. But he's using it to mock her, basically. He's like, you've got to know people before you can properly kill them.
You don't deserve that kind of thing. Anyway, Kanan frees Hera, though she's a bit under the influence of a truth serum. And she kind of declares love and stuff, right? Is that right? Yeah.
She's acting drunk, so...
Yeah.
There's quite a funny bit where there's two stormtroopers guarding her, and she sees Kanan, who's like, "Oh, boys, you're not going to have fun now."
Yeah.
He's like, I wonder which way he's going to come in, through the ceiling or through the window. And then a lightsaber comes up through the floor and cuts a perfect hole around one of them.
And they fall through.
He just drops. He goes, I wasn't expecting that.
But they're pretty brutal to the stormtroopers. They're throwing them off buildings left, right, and center.
Yeah, and Kanan just forces the other one out the window.
Yeah, so they manage to get picked up. However, as they're escaping, Price orders they're on top of these fuel.
They get on a glider and they glide to a fuel depot.
Yes,
where Ezra and Sabine they hid among stormtroopers and they grabbed an escape vehicle. So they're flying around.
Yeah.
And they land on top of the fuel depot as Kanan and not Sabine, Hera land on it
now
too.
They're standing on top of giant containers of fuel, and as they doing it, Price orders them to be shelled, basically, right? Or shot which will blow up the fuel tanks. One does catch a light, and the explosion's coming their way. But
the one they're on catches a light.
Yeah, so Kanan uses the Force to control the explosion, and Heron's screaming at him to come with them, but he obviously can't, because as soon as he relinquishes control of the Force, they're all going to die. So he actually uses Force pushes her away back onto the ship.
But in the cool bit, in the last moments, he opens his eyes, and his vision is like his eyes have color again.
Yeah,
you can see.
It's like he could see. Yeah.
But and I suspect if we'd seen his eyes a bit more, because he does like a whole sort of samurai ritual where he like cuts his ponytail and shaves his head and beard.
He looks quite different, doesn't he? Because he's basically made himself look quite different for this moment. So he sacrifices himself, which is quite a shock, I have to say.
It was really cool.
Now, the next episode is called Doom, i.e. D-U-M-E, which is his real name, right? Kanan's real name. So everyone's kind of devastated by this. Price, despite the fact she blew up a big fuel depot and shut down the project for a while, decides to throw a victory parade because she's beaten a few rebels. Thrawn's not happy.
No. She does it. It's like, well, if there's a parade going on, that might distract him from the fact that I blew up all the fuel supply for our factories.
Yeah.
And he immediately is like, so what's this shit you're doing?
Yes. So he's not happy, is he?
No, he's very mad.
Well, as mad as Thrawn gets, apart from the times he occasionally lets his guard slip. So they decide that they're all devastated, but they decide they're going to try and spoil the party, right?
It's very much framed as we got to get back at them.
Yes,
they got to know what it's like to feel this.
Yeah,
and Sabine and Zeb go and fight Rook.
Yeah,
like they fight and beat him.
They do, and he's got all these tricks too. Ezra's kind of depressed and can't really bring himself to do anything, but the Lothwolves confront him.
The Lothwolves almost attack him.
And he thinks they're going to attack,
they chase him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets transported to a weird other dimension, which I suppose is probably where they were before when they were traveling across planet. But there's a big wolf. I suspect that they may have watched Princess Mononoke shortly before this. It had a touch of that.
Also, I said to you at the time, this is kind of reminding me of Twin Peaks. Because there was a lot of No,
that was symbology. In a couple of episodes. So.
Well, no, it's that feeling started here, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. They're in this weird temple. No, you might be right, actually. Okay, they notice... So Sabine and Zeb notice the TIE factory's been shut down, and then they fight Rook. And he has all these tricks. At one point, Sabine says to him,
Predator.
We don't want to... we don't want to have a fair fight here. And he says, neither do I. And he presses a button and he turns invisible. Or Predator suit, like you said. But then Sabine manages to fire a paintball at him, right?
Yeah. And he's now very... Well, first she, sticks the thing on his back. And then she starts chucking paint at him. Yeah. And then Zeb just grabs him and starts pummeling him into the ground.
Yeah, and...
and to the point where Sabine has to stop him. It's like, Kanan wouldn't want this.
No.
This is very much not what he would have wanted to happen.
But she paints him, doesn't she? She does graffiti.
Yeah, she paints him bright yellow and then basically sends him back into the city unconscious on a speeder bike.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. Hera also adds a little extra thing on her Kalikuri to represent Kanan. So they've managed to stop the TIE Defender project. They've decided. But then Ezra says he's got to go to the Jedi Temple and sort of get knowledge back for the Imperials. So we have... okay, cool. So the next episode is called Wolves at the Door. So... they, with the aid of the wolves, they go towards this Jedi temple, don't they? Where they've got this guy digging out, in charge, who's voiced by Malcolm McDowell, isn't he?
Yeah.
Quite surprising.
Yeah, he was a very creepy character.
He was.
He was
pretty
completely unashamed about being a servant of the Empire.
Empire, and his power source is, being a fraction of the Emperor's power, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he even talks to the Emperor, doesn't he, later on as well? So they've got this mural of all these free characters. One of these is...
who we saw in Clone Wars. We saw these characters directly.
Oh, okay. So Ezra, being a Jedi, can use the Force to sort of... Oh, and they've also got this big stone artifact that kind of has got hand symbols on, which they can use to interpret. So Ezra uses the Force to kind of unlock a door.
Yeah.
They're doing it in front of everyone, and then eventually someone notices. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Ezra manages to go through this weird door, doesn't he? This door before he's caught.
Yeah.
And then we get this really weird, which is more Twin Peaks. This weird thing called the episode's called The World Between Worlds, and he's in this like weird floating vortex thing with paths.
It's like
in
just
space.
paths in space with like sort of doorways.
And he can look through
everywhere.
and see different times, and he actually sees the fight between Ahsoka and Darth Vader. That was the end of season 2.
Yeah. And we also get, while Ahsoka's like fighting him, he reaches through and yanks her into the world between worlds
as
Vader falls down a pit.
Pulled down a pit. So Ahsoka is now in this thing with him. So she's like, what's going on? Then he goes, no, I'm here for a reason. And he reasons that because he can save Ahsoka, he can save Kanan. He goes to the portal to see Kanan, and Ahsoka's saying, you got to let this go, because if you pull him out, you're all going to die.
Yeah.
If you pull him out of that time frame.
I remember her words. She's like, if he chose to make a sacrifice, and you should respect that sacrifice.
Yes. So that was kind of good, really good actually, really good.
It's a good way to introduce a big, let's be honest, reality-changing thing to the Star Wars canon, and then you give a reason why you can't just use it to go messing about in everything.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it is about changing fate, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So. However, now they've opened this, the Emperor realises there, and he turns up and he starts using his false electricity, doesn't he?
No, he like starts shooting fire into the world between worlds.
Yes, that's what I meant. And Ahsoka's kind of using the Force to fight back, but his fire's also got tendrils, so it can grab as well.
Yeah, and it's destroying like the paths in the world between worlds.
Yes, it is. So Ahsoka's kind of fighting him with Ezra, but they have to separate, don't they? So is that right? Ahsoka jumps through one portal.
They split off, and Ahsoka jumps back through the portal she got pulled through.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise that.
She jumps back to her own time.
Ezra runs off at another one and manages to escape. But the actual physical... then he returns to the temple where there's shenanigans going on, and that starts to crumble, doesn't it?
No, they close the door, and that causes the temple itself to start sinking into the ground.
Yeah. And when they see it in the morning, it's gone. It's completely gone.
There's not even any sign of a pit. It's just smooth surface.
Yeah, but all of this makes Ezra realise he was right not to pull Kanan through, because they would have all died, so it's kind of worth doing. Okay, we're getting to the last 2 major stories now. The next episode 14, is called A Fool's Hope, which I thought was kind of fun. This is slightly more relaxed before we really get into it, I think. Would you say? Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
So here we have Hera, Rex, and Kallus, and they get Hondo, Gregor, Wolf, and Ketsu. So there's lots of the old clone troopers.
There's two of the old clone troopers, Hondo, who we know, and Ketsu, who was a bounty hunter in season 1, I believe.
Yeah, so
that knew Sabine. So
they want to liberate the Thal just for the sake of Ezra. Really.
They're literally saying it's like, we're not doing this for the rebellion, we're doing this for Ezra.
So meanwhile, Ezra gets a vision that Thrawn's returning from Coruscant. So they have to get on with their plan immediately. And meanwhile, Price's is contacted by the guy that used to run Lothal, Ryder, who appears to be betraying the rebels for his own safe passage. So it looks like they're being betrayed. So Price is there. Rook's turned up again, right? They've found the rebel base. They're attacking, and in the meantime, Harris comes back with reinforcements, but has to get past the blockade, right? So,
and they start using all their individual tricks to get past. So Hondo is immediately like, okay, just go sit yourself here. But Hondo, that's in the middle of a hyperspace lane. Like, eh? So that's pretty much his reaction.
Yeah. So he's basically pretending to be cargo coming through, isn't he? So he's hiding.
They wait until a cargo ship arrives, and then they kind of just like float alongside it.
Yeah.
So.
But it looks like everything's lost. The Imperials actually seem to get the upper hand, and then suddenly Ryder reveals it was a ruse. He wasn't really betraying them, and everything
the ghost
goes nuts.
shows up. So.
The Loaf Wolves turn up and start devastating the.
They're basically just running back and forth, grabbing guys and throwing them off cliffs.
It's quite a brutal one.
There's a pretty funny bit where Gregor like elbows Wolf. It's like, hey, the wolf pack's back. It's just like with the boys. They watch this Lothwolf like savage a stormtrooper and chuck it off the cliff. And Wolf is like, they're a bit cleaner than the boys.
Yeah. They catch a Price, and they basically, so this is the beginning of the liberation of the Thal, right? Okay, so then our last story is a double par. So episodes 15 and 16 is called Family Reunion and Farewell, which tells you a fair bit about what's going on. Yeah. So they got Price as their prisoner, and they force her to give clearance codes so they can get in the command center at the capital. So they get the control.
They have Callus verify, so that's why he comes into it.
Okay.
Because he's former Imperial, so he'll know. So.
They may basically get hold of the control room and send out a special order which puts all the Imperial forces into one place, which they launch.
It pulls them back into the dome, which is the Imperial capital building.
Which looks a bit like Death Star, actually. So they're planning to fire it off and blow it up, basically.
Yeah.
Rook overhears this plan and tells Thrawn, who gives him a set of instructions, instead of wow, that's a great piece of news, have this reward. It's like, no, I want you to do this, this, and this now.
Yeah, he's like, go to the shield generator and disable it completely.
And then he arrives, and basically he says, you think you've got the upper hand? No, you've just put all my forces in one place, which means I can bomb the rest of the planet indiscriminately, and threatens to do it. In fact, he starts, doesn't he?
He just starts doing it.
Yeah.
They're like, we need to get the shields up and running. So they, but he says maybe I'll stop if Ezra Bridger comes up to my Star Destroyer, which Ezra proceeds to do.
Yeah, he does a bit of distraction by sort of saying, how are we going to beat this? And while everyone's talking, him and Sabine make eye contact and they kind of nod, and Ezra leaves. Sabine knows he has to leave, so but she says nothing. Yeah. So he goes there, and then we get more Emperor.
Yeah, the Emperor shows up, voiced by Ian McDermott.
Really good, really good this was. I'm trying to remember what else happens. The Emperor actually
There's a big fight for the shield generator room, which involves another throwdown between Rook and Zeb.
Yeah.
Which ends with Zeb straps him to one of the shield generators, electrical pylons,
and says,
and then just stands and watches and just fire it up.
So that is the end of Rook. That's definitely the end of Rook.
Gregor gets shot, so that's another of the clones gone.
Yeah. It's quite sad. And the Emperor tempts Ezra by saying, I can showing him his parents and say, well, they don't have to do,
They don't have to die. Way. You've done it once. You can just do it again. Yeah. Or you can just go through there and stay. Sort of
but Ezra has his Luke Skywalker moment where he says no to the Emperor, doesn't he?
And the entire time during this, the Emperor looks more like he did in the prequel series.
Because he's in a hologram, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in a hologram, so he's basically hiding his,
real face.
Older real face, and he's looking much younger and more clean-cut, and he's got this white robe on, and all sorts. So, and he just looks and acts much nicer. In fact, he doesn't even use the sort of voice
No.
that he does in at the end. He's just way more jovial and like casual talking.
But when Ezra says no, that all breaks down, doesn't it? And it goes to pot. And then,
literally, the hologram changes back to his robed form.
Yeah, and it all goes nuts. So there's a massive fight, and then hold on, is it Hera arrives with all those flying? Wow,
it's some other characters that got left behind.
Okay,
it was Mark, the guy from the Iron Squadron.
Okay, the Iron Squadron.
Him and one of the clones and someone else were watching Rook, and he like knocked them all out and escaped.
Okay.
So they were like, and Ezra told them if it all goes wrong, or if he doesn't contact them by a certain time, they should do this particular thing, which is go up into orbit and broadcast a message on like frequency 0, which the clone that's with them, Wolf, is like, no one uses frequency 0.
Yeah,
that's like, it's nothing. So they start doing it, and you start to hear noises come in.
Yeah,
and Thrawn is kind of facing down Ezra at this point, who's made his way to like the bridge. And he starts getting messages from his fleet in orbit. It's like, they just came in and tore us apart. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, they just destroyed us. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then the Purgils, way back in season 2, I think it was, the space whales that could travel in hyperspace show up.
Yeah.
And
they got tentacles and stuff. And
They start smashing Star Destroyers. They're flying
just
through
flying
TIE
to it, right, and smashing it out. They grab Thrawn's flagship and pull it into hyperspace. Ezra stays.
Ezra and Thrawn are still there. Ezra's like holding Thrawn in place, just because Thrawn is that dangerous. You just need to get him completely away from it, and you need someone to look after him.
Yeah, but which means Ezra also disappears into hyperspace with him. And so basically they then destroy the command center. Price stays. She
stays on the command center.
Yeah,
it's a weird, because she's kind of been cowardly before this.
Yeah,
she was like as you would. She was running and screaming from the giant wolves sprinting about.
Yeah,
but this is like a moment of like, no, I'm an Imperial and that's what I'm staying.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a cool end to her.
Yeah.
Character.
Yeah, it's a dignified end.
Because they're even like, we can take you, but you would be a prisoner.
And she's like, nah. So basically, the Purgil and all that smash up the Imperial fleet and free Lothal. So Lothal has now been freed. Ezra's disappeared. There's a kind of further sort of coda to this where Sabine's saying, Ezra's always saying, I'm counting on you, and I thought he meant this, but actually means he wants me to come find him.
There is they do end the sort of like revelry of freeing Lothal with, the Empire's gonna come here. They're gonna try and take it back, but it turns out because the attack on, the Battle of Scarif, the assault on the Death Star happens maybe a few months afterwards. Well,
yeah.
Let's say around 9 months,
right? It was they spared that. But then we get this coda where Sabine's talking. It's set after the Battle of Endor.
Yeah.
Which
mentions both Hera and Rex took part in.
So that's kind of cool. Which
is kind of a cool bit of retro, not exactly a retcon, but if you go back and watch Return of the Jedi, in amongst all the sort of like young, fresh-faced extras that were playing the rebel soldiers, there's one old guy with a big beard, which is how Rex looks.
Rex looks, yes.
So if I remember correctly, they've basically just said, yeah, that's Rex. That's just what he was doing on the Battle of Endor.
Yeah.
And Hera was flying during it. But Hera they show that Hera gave birth in the meantime
to Kanan's son, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Jason Syndulla.
So Sabine teams up with Ahsoka to go find Ezra, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And in addition, Kallus gets some redemption. Zeb takes Kallus to show him that he didn't destroy all of the Lasat after all. So and he's welcomed.
And everyone just has assumed that they're now a couple. Like I'm just telling you, because everyone's like, "This is very Top Gun." Because at the end, it's like them with their arms around each other's shoulders and their other arms on their hips, and both smiling at this new planet. So everyone's like, "Yeah, this is Top Gun. This is they're a couple."
Yeah, so that one's up. It was a great season. This one, I think Rebels got really good halfway. I mean, I thought it was always reasonably good. It was a bit kiddie the first.
Yeah, the show as a whole was much kiddier than Clone Wars.
Yeah, but midway through season 3, it definitely changed. The stuff with Darth Maul, I think, it changed from that point, and then it stayed pretty a deeper show than it was before, for sure. What was going on, and it was kind of nice that this was one long story almost. Certainly, well, maybe the first 4 episodes were their own thing, but after that, it became one long story, really, didn't it? So I really like that. I thought this was a good season.
Yeah, this is a really good season.
So we'd recommend this. But if you've listened this far, you've probably and not seen it. We spoiled the hell out of this, but never mind.
Yeah,
it's still worth watching. It's very good. It's very good. I haven't really got much more to say. Have you?
No, you should watch it because spoilers: Ahsoka has been cast for Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah, so that's worth.
And I was quite annoyed when you read that out while we were just sort of like sitting around. You're like, "Oh, Ahsoka's been cast. That's cool." And I was like, "Damn it!"
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I knew she was alive, but I thought you thought she was dead.
Oh no, I never thought she was dead because we didn't see
the
her
last
die.
shot of her is
You don't
fighting Vader.
Kill off a major character off screen and never show. If they're killed off screen, that means they're not dead, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not true. It was the same with. Oh well, I nearly spoiled another movie then, so I'm not going to say. So
it's a Skywalker. Everyone's seen it.
Yeah, so. It's a similar.
And everyone's disappointed by it.
Yes, I thought it was all right. Anyway, we'll get to that another time. All right then. So let's wind up there. So bye from me.
Bye.